prefacing all of this with
partisanship.
I've said it over. I've said it over and over. This is what I brought up about what Vox was saying. Everything right now is on track for Joe Biden to be certified, inaugurated, all that stuff. These lawsuits have not had any traction to the point where we could say something might change. As it stands now, we all kind of expect it's going to be Joe Biden. That being said, what if, with Trump changing, just for entertaining the conversation, not like I think it's it's a lottery ticket's chance, if at all. What happens if Trump doesn't leave and he gets rid of these, different heads of different departments, puts in loyalists, and then come, the 14th or whatever, he says no.
They'll be writing about it for 1,000 years.
You'll have 77 million leftists or whatever saying Trump is the dictator who's trying to stage a coup. You'll have all the Trump supporters saying, no, Trump is stopping them from staging a coup. This is how it goes when there's a civil war or a coup. Both sides accuse each other of being the villain stealing the power.
Yes.
You need to dispel partisan politics. And
good luck, dude.
That's the only way. This is ridiculous that people want to be in a tribe. They want to be in a group.
They knew that this was going to happen back when they were writing the damn Constitution, man. Factions.
Yeah, really. And George Washington would, if he was running for president as the Democrat right now, he would say, let's do the right thing. Let's look at the law and follow the law to its. Well, he gave up. They wanted him to be king, and he said no.
Right.
No, we need a legitimate system.
Right.
I will sacrifice my own good for the system.
Some of these presidents, very shortly after, were, I think Aaron Burr was accused of being an honorless man who was in it only for himself and his own ego. And that's part of what sparked the duel between him and Hamilton, which ultimately killed Hamilton, was because he was viewed as a narcissist who wanted power.
I'm just talking about Washington, man.
You cannot become elected president unless you are a narcissist drunk.
I don't think so. George Washington was pretty unique. He might have been a narcissist.
Dude, it's the first one, bro. It's the first one.
Yeah, Washington doesn't count because we just finished this Revolutionary War, and they said, "How about you?" And he goes, "I don't want to be president." Well, we need somebody. You're the general. And he said, "Fine."
Dude, we put up in my daughter's room a list of all of the presidents. There's 45 of them up there, and around each of the presidents is a color that represents their political party. All of the presidents have a color on their frame. All of them, except for one. George Washington didn't have a party.
You don't need one.
There
was no.
We don't need him anymore.
You can't keep referencing it. It's the first one. It's totally different, a unique circumstance that will never be lived ever again.
Well, we're in a unique circumstance now with the internet video. One guy can get 100 million.
That's not an argument. What are you saying?
You don't need a political party.
Dude, you have powerful special interests, and you have a machine with billions of dollars you will not get on your own.
All they can buy is influence.
Even Ross Perot. He could only, he did pretty well the first time. Ross, it was at 92.
He got Bill Clinton along.
And he was an old, not that charismatic guy.
George Bush
without the internet.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ross
Perot.
And then he ran again, I think, at 8%. That was impressive for an independent. But he was a billionaire, wasn't he?
Teddy Roosevelt won as a third party. I'm not talking about a third party. I'm talking about no party. You don't need a political party.
All right,
you just need a few friends to run with you. You don't even need that.
Dude. Trump took over and hijacked the Republican Party because you need a party to get elected, and you need a party, dude, to govern.
Of course, you need a cabinet.
This was Trump's downfall, is that he didn't actually have a party when he came to Washington to govern.
And he assumed the Republicans had his back.
Exactly. So no, there's no way you get in there without having a political party and a machine and an apparatus behind you.
It's all cult of personality, man.
They did have his back, though. They had a knife in his back.
Yeah, right.
They didn't have his back in the way most people assume.
No.
And that was, I think, Trump was naive. He went in thinking these guys, okay, I won. I'm the president now. I was saying this the other day, but I remember I was outside of this building where Trump was meeting with GOP leadership. And we knew back then in D.C. that it was like a big deal that Trump won, and they hated his guts. So he was going to meet with Republican leadership, and they were going to talk. And I knew right then, I'm like, I know what's happening. He's in an Escalade. He pulls in. He sits down at the table, and you got a bunch of Republicans, and they go, okay, Trump, now here's how things works. And he goes, no, I'm the president. Here's how things go. I'm telling you. And they were like, It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys watched the new Rick and Morty episode?
No. Not the latest, no.
Not the latest one, but the one where it's the Rick, the new city, the Citadel of Ricks or whatever. Or no. I don't know. It's evil Morty has the election and wins. Okay. And then he walks in and all the Ricks are laughing like, you actually think you're in charge because you were elected? And then he goes, how many of you think this way? Raise your hand. And then he like snaps his finger and they shoot all the unloyal guys. It reminds me kind of like that, except Trump didn't, kill a bunch of people. But Trump, I'm assuming he walked in and they said, here's how things work. We're the party. Here's what we want you to do. And Trump was like, no. And he's still saying no. Because you have to imagine, like, there was a story in The Hill, I think I mentioned it, where they said a deal for Trump to leave the White House. I'm sure he said, no.
Yeah.
I'm the president. He's got a vision. He wants to do something. He ran for a reason, and he means it. I think it's hilarious they tried pushing off this narrative that Trump never wanted to win. When he filed the paperwork for MAGA in 2012, 4 years before he ran, and then he filed for re-election the moment he got elected. Yeah, he's been intending to run for a long time.
Yeah, he's been talking about it since the 90s, I think.
Yeah, and he had run at least 2 times beforehand as well.
Yeah, Reform Party though, right?
Yeah, which I had always thought were just publicity stunts, whatever, which is kind of what I thought back on the the escalator incident. I kind of thought all this was just a little bit of publicity, and he would just kind of go back. But this was the time. The wave was there. It wasn't right for him the other times. Like the world hadn't gotten crazy enough. Things hadn't gotten bad enough. We hadn't been fed up enough yet with the uniparty to decide like which one of these 17 guys up here is going to bust up the establishment. And then they picked Trump to do it.
Kanye West could do it. They didn't have they didn't have Twitter before either, really, and not until 2010. And he hadn't done his TV show until when did The Apprentice end? When did he leave The Apprentice?
I don't know, but we all watched The Apprentice. Everybody watched The Apprentice.
Super famous person with social media can get elected.
But through a party.
Well, he joined a party. He didn't have to.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Dude.
Why do you think Bernie runs as a Democrat, dude?
Because he's an idiot. He should have run independent.
Okay. I was thinking back. Sorry. I was thinking.
He should have told Hillary, take it, suck it. I'm going to run as an independent as soon as it found out that her server, that they were trying to end him, and he would have won.
No, it would have split the
He would have dominated that election.
40% of Democrats identify as progressive as of 2018. So many of them would have defected. Many of them would say, I don't want to risk Trump winning. But it would split the vote for sure.
Yeah, all the people, half the Trump's voters would have voted for him.
The Democrats are fractured and the Republicans are unified.
Indeed, on that.
Yep.
That is
That's
for sure.
a strong statement.
Which is
It's a fact.
The Republicans are shattered with Trump's their freaking head man.
No,
and they've got Mitch McConnell in the party.
I'm citing Pew and Economist data that shows the Republican Party has coalesced around a core central ideal ideals.
He's talking about the people of the party.
Not the president.
The president and the party apparatus are not aligned. But the voters and the president clearly are.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
On the Democrat side, it's split into 2 mounds of progressive.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So if you break those up, and they're literally 2 different parties. They seriously are. Yeah. You've got union, working class, corporate, weird amalgam. It's like Joe Biden represents the I'll say whatever I have to say to convince people to vote for me. Then you have progressives who are like socialism all the way, literally. And I guess they try to deny it, but it's ridiculous. They don't agree. You like the Joe Biden's a capitalist. He loves going and making all that sweet money through his name and his family name, sending his kid out to make cash for him and his brother in Iraq.
Yeah, but if you're a communist, you can make even more money off your sweet name and
power. If you're a communist, you can call yourself a Democrat and run as the Democratic nominee.
Well, so here's the big problem I see it. Joe Biden doesn't represent anybody as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Like nobody wanted Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like
settle for Biden.
Exactly, settle for Biden. So here's what I see. Most liberals, traditional liberals, are not active. They're not paying attention. And I should say these are passive liberals. These are people who probably have similar policy positions to us, to all of us actually, and they're not paying attention. So you have very, very politically active progressives that dominate the narrative over and over again. You then have your only option outside of them to not be a conservative is like the likes of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and they're awful. Old crony corporate establishment politicians. There is no moderate liberal populist. You either have Trump, which is right populism, and then you have Bernie, who joined the ranks of the corporate Democrats, I guess. But my choice right now, what do I have? Do I vote for the lunatic socialist woke people? No. But then I'm like, I'm not going to vote for Biden. I guess I got to vote for Trump.
No, here's the choice that people made. And I was thinking about this back when you mentioned, like, how is it that Biden got more votes than Barack Obama, right? Back in 2008? So 12 years later. Are the demographic changes so profound that we're going to turn out that many people?
No.
More people turn out for Joe Biden than to turn out for the first black president of the United States.
But he was a celebrity, dude. He was
Obama.
Barack Obama was a celebrity.
That's what I'm saying.
Joe Biden's not.
Let me get to the point
Yeah.
here. So the point actually is that the choice that the Democrats were faced with was this. Do I want to be mentally tortured for another 4 years by my own party? The Democratic Party and the Democratic media have tortured, gaslit, and abused the Democratic voter for 4 years by telling them that this guy, Donald Trump, who everybody loved in 2014, who was on The Apprentice and with Oprah and with Jesse Jackson and getting awards from NAACP and the whole thing, and we're going to say all of a sudden he's a racist, he's Hitler, he's the end of the world, he's authoritarian, you should be scared, you should be terrified, you should be freaking out. The Democratic Party beat their own voters into voting for whomever they decided. The only choice the Democrats had was, please make it stop. And they didn't know. They don't know what it is. But they're just saying, please make it stop. And where's the abuse coming from? It's not coming from Trump's policies. It's not coming from the actions of the Republican Party. It's not coming from MAGA patriots blowing up cities and rioting all over the place. No, the torture is coming from the Democrats. They're doing it to their own people with their foot soldiers in the street with Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all this chaos, and saying to people, if you don't vote for our guy, you're going to let Hitler take over the country. And they're just like, please make it stop. They're all deranged and broken down on purpose. That's the only choice.
And where are we at now? The media is saying the election's over, Joe Biden won, submit. Even though we haven't gone through state certification, let alone choosing electors, let alone certifying the electoral results. Congress has to then certify the results after that. We've gone through none of the traditional constitutional processes, and they're already saying, shut your mouth, Joe Biden is the president-elect.
We talk a lot about corporate media political collusion on this, just in life in general, and on this show. Do you think they were incrementally moving towards a better place, a solution where that kind of thing isn't happening?
No, dude. Power's being concentrated, countries being polarized, networks are being fortified and hardened, and our separations are going beyond political movements and now into tribes. And it's all being fueled by money and corporate sponsors and curators and influencers and the media and everybody pushing us into these horribly ostracized tribes based on empathetic triggers that make us want to hate each other. No, it's not getting any better.
Who's doing it?
It's an emergent phenomenon. There's not one old guy, pulling all the marionette strings.
Yeah,
no,
they go after Soros, but
it's an emergent phenomenon. Sure, Soros has done stuff on the record.
He's part of the emergence.
You see, right? He's part of it. It's this.
All of the billionaires.
They all have an alignment currently, and it's playing out. They want to diminish the power of the federal government. I know people aren't talking about that as much. The Democrats don't touch the corporations. They don't do anything with antitrust. BLM, Antifa want to see the government diminished. The socialists want to see a government like a revolution.
Well, I disagree. They want the power of the government for themselves.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they want to change the way that we're doing things, right? Yeah. The critical race theorists want to deconstruct the entire apparatus that is existing, and so all of them have the same common interest, which is diminish the power of the federal government. And that's why they're all on the same team right now.
I disagree, though. I like the idea of diminishing federal government authority or taking their power down.
Sure, but they're doing it to exert their own power over us, corporate power, race power, all that fear.
They're trying to vampirize it.
No, I see them as infiltrating these institutions and government for power. I feel like you look at the media,
the military,
and you look at the New York Times. The New York Mag just wrote this big piece about how there's a ton of people at the New York Times worried that it's become a woke activist brigade. You have enough people of this new religion, intersectionality, where they can stage a coup internally at these companies. Because I think, like you mentioned, most people are like, I don't know, I just leave me out of it, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's already happened. The coup has already happened.
Right.
It happened through HR departments.
Is it the Vatican through the British government trying to retake the American people back?
No.
Like they're trying to.
What are you talking about?
We separated from the British Crown in 1776. And there's a lot of British Crown money in the Vatican. And are they trying to take the United States back?
You just
is it the British? I'm allowed to say that the United States said goodbye, British Crown, and we revolted against them.
What does that have to do?
Are they trying to take the United States back?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just grabbing at straws.
That literally
who are these
is
people?
Nothing
Who is this
anywhere.
emergent? Why is this emergence happening to the United States government?
because there are people who are in the United States who have gotten jobs in these departments who have an ideology and want to exert it, and they're aligned with their own
It's not
tribe.
just people in the United States. It's global corporations are doing this.
They're doing it because the U.S. has money, and they're seeing what people are posting on social media. Twitter has created a machine that incentivizes people to cancel you because they can put their PayPal
But the
link
U.S.
on end of
doesn't have money. The U.S. borrows money from a
dude,
federal
that has
bank.
nothing
Federal,
to do
it's not
with
even a
what you
federal
just
bank,
said.
from a
You
private
are
bank.
literally saying random
I'm
things
wondering,
right now.
why is this emergence trying to take hold of the American government right now?
It's international. Wokeism is everywhere. Corporations are everywhere. It's just a matter in some of those countries, the general population is along for the ride. In the United States, we're not like that. When I say diminish government power, in this alliance, there are some people that want to seize control of the government, right, for their own ends. And then it's like exerting the government influence to their benefit. But then there's other people that want to seize control of the government so that the government doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that they can just keep doing what they're doing. The corporations can run around unmolested.
Right. So it's either they're trying to take a hold of the U.S. military or they're trying to destroy the U.S. Constitution.
Well, they are trying to destroy the Constitution, that's for sure.
And why is this international corporation group trying to destroy the U.S. Constitution?
What are you talking about?
No, destroying the U.S. Constitution is just like a byproduct of the fact that they want to keep their power.
They've said get rid of the Constitution. It was a New Republic article saying the left should actively campaign against the written Constitution of the United States.
Sure.
That would be, and it's because they want to ban speech, and it's because they want to maintain power. And if you can't share ideas, those ideas can't persist.
You know, I'm sorry for bringing up the British Crown. I just think the power structure of a monarchy bothers me, and I wonder if this corporate thing is similar to that.
No.
And they want to destroy this freedom mechanism of the U.S. Constitution so that they can exert top-down authority.
None of that has anything
Sorry,
to do with
I said that real crudely to you, real mean.
It has nothing to do with emergence in any way. Emergence is a person goes on Twitter and says Jack Murphy is alt-right. He gets 1 million retweets, and then he goes, send me money through PayPal. And he realizes, wow, if I call people alt-right, I can put my PayPal link and get money. Then a bunch of people start realizing they can do this, so they all start doing it at the same time. Then Coca-Cola goes on a Twitter and goes, whoa, they really like it when you call people alt-right. Coca-Cola, we don't like the alt-right either. They're targeting what the big corporations are putting money behind what they see and what they think. You've got Democrats that are doing the same thing. A Democratic politician comes on and says, wow, a lot of people are talking about the alt-right. I oppose them. Vote for me. Now all of a sudden you've built this twisted, weird culture around nonsensical cancel culture and woke ideas because on Twitter it made people money. Then 92% of the population who don't prescribe to these beliefs are like, what? I'm not voting for that guy. And then the Republicans, they're on track to win, 12 seats in the House now? Because they're like, this is ridiculous and makes no sense. The crazy thing about it, though, is it started to go into the HR departments, and now regular people who are like, I don't care about Twitter and cancel culture, walk into their workplace one day and someone says, oh, you're not checking your privilege? And they're like, wait a minute.
Yep.
What is this? Now, I think...
Or when you see it in your children's curriculum at school, forcing your kids to have courageous conversations and sit in their whiteness.
Yeah. Or when your kids come home and call you racist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.